The desert wind carries whispers of ancient secrets across the sands of Giza, where monuments to human ambition pierce the sky like frozen prayers. For millennia, the pyramids have stood as silent sentinels, their limestone faces weathered by time yet unyielding in their mystery. Beneath the scorching sun and the cold embrace of desert nights, these structures harbour questions that have haunted humanity since we first gazed upon their impossible geometry. What if, within these colossal tombs, beyond the burial chambers we know, beyond the narrow passages mapped by archaeologists, there exists something far more extraordinary than we've ever imagined? What if the pyramids are not merely monuments to the dead, but sanctuaries for the living? Before we descend into these ancient mysteries together, like this video and subscribe to our channel. Also, comment below. Where are you from, and what time are you watching? Your global perspectives on these timeless enigmas fascinate us, connecting us across continents just as these mysteries connect us across centuries. Stand before the Great Pyramid of Giza, and you're confronted with precision that defies explanation. Each limestone block, some weighing as much as 15 tons, fitted together with a tolerance measured in millimeters. The base forms a near-perfect square, with each side measuring approximately 755 feet, deviating from perfect alignment by less than 2.3 centimeters. The pyramid's orientation aligns with true north to within 3/60th of a degree, an accuracy that rivals modern surveying equipment. But precision alone doesn't explain the mystery. It's what lies beneath this precision that captivates the imagination. Recent technological advances have revealed what ancient builders may have always intended to remain hidden. Vast, unexplored spaces within these structures, chambers that don't appear on any blueprint, voids that suggest the pyramids are far more complex than we've ever understood. The mathematics embedded in the Great Pyramid's design encode fundamental constants of the universe: pi, phi, the speed of light, even the dimensions of Earth itself. This isn't the work of primitive builders constructing simple tombs. This is the signature of minds operating with knowledge that seems almost impossibly advanced for their time. Traditional archaeology tells us the pyramids were tombs, elaborate final resting places for pharaohs obsessed with their journey to the afterlife. Yet this explanation feels increasingly inadequate when confronted with the structure's complexity. Why would a tomb require such precise astronomical alignment? Why embed universal mathematical constants in a burial chamber? Why create interior chambers that seem designed not for the dead, but for the living? The ancient Egyptians themselves left cryptic references to the pyramid's true purpose. In the pyramid texts carved into the walls of later pyramids, we find passages that speak not of death and burial, but of transformation and ascension. They describe the pyramid as a machine for changing consciousness, a device for bridging the gap between earthly existence and divine understanding. The king goes to the sky, the texts proclaim, but what if this isn't metaphor? What if the pyramids were designed as functional instruments, gateways between different states of being, different dimensions of reality? And what if, to operate such instruments, to maintain and guard such powerful knowledge, a select group of individuals chose to make these structures their permanent home? The mystery deepens when we expand our view beyond Egypt. Across the globe, separated by vast oceans and thousands of years, civilizations that supposedly had no contact with one another constructed remarkably similar pyramidal structures. From the stepped pyramids of Mesoamerica to the grass-covered mounds of Europe, from the ziggurats of Mesopotamia to the ancient pyramids recently discovered in Bosnia and China, humanity seems driven by an inexplicable compulsion to build these monuments. Each culture tells similar stories, of gods or advanced beings who provided the knowledge for construction, of sacred purposes that transcended mere burial, of mysteries hidden within the structures that only the initiated could understand. The Maya spoke of Kukulkan, the feathered serpent, descending from the heavens to share divine wisdom. The ancient Egyptians credited Thoth, the god of wisdom, with providing the knowledge of pyramid construction. Mesopotamian texts describe the Anunnaki, celestial beings who taught humanity the secrets of architecture and mathematics. These aren't merely mythological flourishes. They represent a consistent global pattern, advanced knowledge appearing suddenly in human civilization, often attributed to non-human sources, always associated with the construction of pyramidal monuments. The question becomes not just why humanity built pyramids, but who or what taught us to build them, and whether the teachers ever truly left. Modern research has revealed another curious aspect of pyramid structures, their remarkable electromagnetic properties. The Great Pyramid concentrates electromagnetic energy in its internal chambers, creating fields that some researchers compare to a massive resonating cavity. The limestone and granite used in construction possess specific piezoelectric properties. They generate electrical charges when subjected to pressure or vibration. Could these properties be intentional? Ancient Egyptian texts speak of the pyramid as a per-netta, a house of divine power. They describe rituals conducted within its chambers that resulted in profound transformations of consciousness, experiences that seem to mirror modern accounts of electromagnetic field effects on human brain function. If the pyramids were designed as energy-generating or energy-focusing devices, they would require operators individuals with the knowledge and dedication to maintain and utilize such systems. These operators would need to understand not just the mechanical aspects of the structures, but their deeper purposes, their connection to cosmic forces, their role in facilitating human transformation. Such knowledge keepers would naturally seek to preserve their wisdom across generations, to protect it from those who might misuse it, to ensure its survival through the inevitable rises and falls of surface civilizations. Where better to establish their sanctuary than within the very structures they were sworn to protect and operate? In 2017, the Scan Pyramids project, using advanced muon tomography, cosmic ray imaging, and thermal scanning, confirmed what pyramid researchers had long suspected. The Great Pyramid contains large, previously unknown voids. The largest, located above the Grand Gallery, is at least 100 feet long with a cross-section similar to the Grand Gallery itself. Smaller voids have been detected near the pyramid's entrance and within its core. These discoveries raise profound questions. Why were these spaces left unfilled during construction? They're too large to be accidental, too precisely positioned to be construction oversights. They appear to be intentional chambers, designed for purposes we don't yet understand, accessible by passages we haven't yet discovered. The pyramid's builders went to extraordinary lengths to conceal these spaces. Unlike the known chambers, which are connected by obvious passages, these voids seem isolated, hidden behind walls of solid stone. Yet their very existence suggests they were meant to be accessed, but only by those who possessed the secret knowledge of how to reach them. Could these hidden chambers house something, or someone, that the ancient builders wanted to preserve but keep separate from the outside world? The chambers are large enough to support human habitation, positioned within the pyramid's core where they would be protected from external temperature fluctuations, isolated from the disturbances of the surface world. What makes the pyramid enigma particularly compelling is its resistance to conventional explanation. Each new discovery, each advancement in scanning technology, each archaeological breakthrough seems to deepen rather than resolve the mystery. The more we learn about these structures, the more we realize how little we actually understand about their builders' intentions and capabilities. This isn't unusual in the realm of ancient mysteries, but it is notable in its consistency. Most archaeological puzzles gradually yield to investigation, revealing their secrets as we develop better tools and techniques. The pyramids, however, seem designed to maintain their mysteries, to reveal just enough to intrigue but never enough to satisfy. It's as if their builders understood that knowledge must be earned, that wisdom comes only to those prepared to receive it. If a civilization were to retreat from the surface world, seeking to preserve essential knowledge while avoiding the conflicts and catastrophes that periodically devastate human societies, they would need to establish criteria for determining who might be worthy of their secrets. They would need to create tests, challenges, puzzles that could distinguish between those seeking wisdom and those seeking power. The pyramids themselves might be such tests, their mathematical precision challenging us to develop the knowledge necessary to decode their messages, their hidden chambers waiting for us to develop the technology to detect them, their mysteries persisting until we develop the wisdom to understand their true purpose. The application of cutting-edge technology to pyramid archaeology has yielded discoveries that challenge everything we thought we knew about these ancient structures. Ground-penetrating radar, infrared thermography, 3D modeling, and particle physics have combined to create detailed maps of pyramid interiors that reveal a complexity far exceeding previous estimates. The JEDI project, initiated to explore the narrow shafts extending from the Queen's Chamber in the Great Pyramid, deployed miniature robots equipped with high-definition cameras and drilling capabilities. What they found defied expectations. Precision-engineered copper fixtures, possibly electrical in nature, positioned at specific intervals along the shafts. These fixtures show no signs of corrosion, suggesting they were made from an alloy more advanced than conventional ancient Egyptian metalworking should have been capable of producing. More intriguingly, the robots detected air currents within these sealed shafts' airflow that suggest the existence of hidden chambers connected to the pyramid's known interior spaces. This discovery implies a ventilation system of sophisticated design, engineered to maintain air quality in spaces that were supposedly never meant to be occupied by living beings. Dr. Luis Alvarez, Nobel Prize-winning physicist, led a team in the 1960s that used cosmic ray muon detection to search for hidden chambers in the Pyramid of Khafra. The results were so anomalous that Alvarez himself stated, "Either the pyramid is structured in such a way that we don't understand, or there's some mysterious force at work which we don't understand." Recent studies have confirmed what Alvarez suspected. The pyramids exhibit electromagnetic properties that can't be explained by their construction materials alone. The Great Pyramid acts as a resonating chamber, amplifying specific frequencies while dampening others. These acoustic properties create zones of silence within the structure, areas where sound is absorbed so completely that even normal conversation becomes difficult. But the electromagnetic effects extend beyond acoustics. Sensitive equipment regularly malfunctions within the pyramid's chambers. Compasses spin wildly. Electronic devices experience power drains and system failures. Workers report sensations of static electricity, sudden temperature changes, and an almost palpable sense of presence, as if the pyramid itself is somehow alive and aware. These effects aren't random. They follow patterns that suggest intentional design. The strongest electromagnetic readings occur near the hidden chambers, detected by scanning technology, implying a connection between the pyramid's unknown spaces and its mysterious energy properties. Sound behaves strangely within pyramid structures. The Grand Gallery of the Great Pyramid demonstrates acoustic properties that transform it into a massive resonating chamber. Specific frequencies, particularly those in the range of human brainwave patterns, are amplified and sustained within the gallery's precisely angled walls. Researcher John Reed has documented how sound creates visible patterns within the pyramid's chambers, patterns that correspond to ancient Egyptian symbols and hieroglyphs. It's as if the pyramid was designed to transform sound into visual language, to make abstract concepts tangible through acoustic manipulation. More intriguingly, people report altered states of consciousness when exposed to the pyramid's acoustic environment for extended periods. These experiences often involve sensations of expanded awareness, encounters with presences or intelligences, and reception of information that seems to come from beyond normal sensory perception. If a hidden civilization existed within the pyramid, they would have developed an intimate understanding of these acoustic properties. They might have learned to use sound as a tool for communication, healing, or consciousness expansion. The pyramid's chambers could serve as both living spaces and temples, environments where the boundary between physical and spiritual reality becomes permeable. Thermal scanning of pyramid structures reveals temperature patterns that can't be explained by simple heat absorption and radiation. Certain areas within the pyramids maintain consistent temperatures regardless of external weather conditions, while others show thermal signatures that suggest internal heat sources. The most significant thermal anomalies occur in areas where scanning has detected hidden chambers. These zones maintain temperatures several degrees different from surrounding areas, implying air circulation patterns that shouldn't exist in sealed spaces. Some researchers interpret these thermal signatures as evidence of active heating or cooling systems, technologies that would require constant maintenance and operation. Even more puzzling are the thermal patterns that seem to shift over time. Repeat thermal scans taken months apart show changes in heat distribution that suggest movement or activity within the pyramid's hidden spaces. While these variations might result from seasonal temperature changes or equipment sensitivity, they could also indicate the presence of active systems or active inhabitants within the concealed chambers. Sensitive gravimetric measurements around pyramid sites have detected local gravity variations that suggest mass distributions inconsistent with solid stone construction. These measurements imply the existence of significant voids or chambers within the structures, far more extensive than the known interior spaces. The gravity anomalies follow patterns that suggest deliberate engineering rather than natural geological formations. They indicate a complex internal architecture with voids and solid masses arranged in precise geometric relationships. Some researchers theorize that these patterns reflect an understanding of gravity's effects on consciousness and biological processes, suggesting the pyramids were designed as environments for enhancing human potential. Recent chemical analysis of pyramid construction materials has revealed unexpected compositions. The mortar used between limestone blocks contains organic compounds that shouldn't exist in purely mineral cement. Some of these compounds appear to be synthetic, created through chemical processes that exceed the supposed technological capabilities of ancient Egyptian civilization. Core samples taken from pyramid blocks show internal structures that suggest advanced material science. Some stones exhibit layered compositions, as if they were manufactured rather than quarried. Others contain microscopic metallic inclusions arranged in patterns that mirror modern electronic components. Underground chambers beneath several pyramid sites contain water that defies conventional hydrology. This water maintains consistent levels despite seasonal variations in the Nile River and local groundwater. More puzzling, the water shows chemical compositions that don't match any known natural source in the region. Some of this water contains dissolved minerals in concentrations that suggest processing or treatment. Other samples show isotopic ratios that indicate the water originated from sources deep within Earth's crust, accessed through geological structures that shouldn't exist beneath the pyramid sites. The presence of this water implies sophisticated hydraulic engineering, systems capable of accessing and managing underground water sources. Such systems would require ongoing maintenance and operation, suggesting the continued presence of knowledgeable operators within the pyramid complexes. Archaeological excavations around pyramid sites have uncovered organic materials that preserve far beyond normal decomposition timelines. Wood samples remain structurally sound after thousands of years. Textile fragments show minimal deterioration. Even more remarkably, some excavated seeds and plant materials retain sufficient cellular integrity to potentially support germination. These preservation effects seem strongest near areas where scanning has detected hidden chambers, suggesting that whatever environmental conditions exist within the pyramid's unknown spaces actively prevent biological decay. Such conditions could theoretically support living organisms, plants, animals, even humans for extended periods. Recent DNA analysis of organic materials from pyramid excavations has yielded unexpected results. Some samples show genetic markers that don't match any known ancient Egyptian population. Others display genetic sequences that seem to have been artificially modified, enhanced in ways that suggest advanced understanding of biological manipulation. Perhaps the most significant archaeological anomaly is the technology itself, not the scanning equipment used by modern researchers, but the advanced engineering evident in the pyramid's construction and hidden systems. The precision of construction, the sophisticated understanding of acoustics and electromagnetics, the complex hydraulic and ventilation systems all point to technological capabilities that surpass conventional estimates of ancient Egyptian civilization. This technology wasn't primitive or experimental. It was mature, refined, suggesting generations of development and application. The pyramid builders weren't learning as they built. They were implementing knowledge they had already mastered. This implies the existence of a technological tradition that predates the pyramids themselves, knowledge that was already ancient when these monuments were constructed. If such advanced knowledge existed, it would have been jealously guarded, carefully preserved, passed down through select lineages of initiated keepers. The pyramids themselves might have been designed as both repositories and laboratories for this knowledge, environments where advanced technologies could be maintained and developed away from the conflicts and catastrophes that periodically disrupted surface civilizations. The continuing presence of unexplained technological effects within the pyramids suggests that these systems remain operational, maintained by someone with the knowledge and dedication to keep them functioning across millennia. The most logical explanation for such long-term technological continuity is the persistent presence of the knowledge keepers themselves, a hidden civilization that has made the preservation and development of advanced wisdom their sacred mission. The ancient Egyptian hieroglyphic record, while extensive, contains tantalizing fragments that suggest knowledge of hidden inhabitants within pyramid structures. The pyramid texts, carved into the walls of pyramids built during the 5th and 6th dynasties, contain passages that seem to reference living beings dwelling within these monuments long after their supposed completion. In the tomb of Pharaoh Yunus, hieroglyphs describe the watchers who never sleep, beings who guard the house of the Ka and maintain the sacred flame through endless nights. Traditional Egyptology interprets these as metaphorical references to gods or spirits, but the language used suggests physical beings performing concrete tasks, watching, guarding, maintaining. More specific are references to those who dwell in the stone house, described as keepers of the ancient words, who emerge only when the time is right. These passages appear in context discussing the pyramid's interior chambers, suggesting that the ancient Egyptians understood these structures to house living communities rather than merely preserved corpses. The hieroglyphic symbol for pyramid itself, a triangle with a dot beneath, has been interpreted various ways, but some scholars suggest the dot represents inhabitants or dwelling place. Related symbols show pyramids with internal patterns suggesting complexity beyond simple burial chambers, architectural diagrams that may have recorded the true, hidden structure of these monuments. The Hermetic texts, attributed to Thoth Hermes, contain extensive references to wisdom keepers dwelling within houses of stone that clearly describe pyramid-like structures. The Emerald Tablet speaks of the king who rules from the mountain, and those who guard the sacred fire in the belly of the world. These descriptions align remarkably well with the idea of a concealed civilization operating from within pyramid complexes. The Corpus Hermeticum describes initiation rituals that take place in underground chambers, processes of transformation that require descent into the heart of the mountain, where aspirants encounter the guardians of ancient wisdom. These guardians are described not as spirits or gods, but as human beings who have achieved extraordinary longevity and knowledge through their dedication to preserving sacred teachings. Hermetic alchemical texts contain detailed descriptions of underground laboratory complexes, complete with technical specifications for equipment and processes that seem remarkably advanced for their supposed time period. These descriptions include references to halls of reflection, with acoustically perfect geometries, chambers of transformation, where consciousness can be altered through electromagnetic fields, and libraries of stone, where knowledge is preserved in crystalline matrices. Most significantly, Hermetic texts describe ongoing contact with these underground communities, suggesting that the hidden civilization wasn't merely a historical phenomenon, but a continuing presence that occasionally interacted with surface dwellers who demonstrated appropriate preparation and intention. Medieval Arabic texts contain numerous accounts of encounters with pyramid inhabitants. The historian al-Makrizi recorded testimonies from engineers and workers who claimed to have discovered secret passages leading to inhabited chambers within pyramid structures. These accounts describe communities of people living within the monuments, maintaining ancient technologies, and preserving libraries of knowledge thought lost to the surface world. According to these medieval sources, the pyramid dwellers appeared to be of ancient Egyptian origin, but possessed knowledge and capabilities far exceeding those of surface inhabitants. They were described as guardians of wisdom, emerging only to rescue important texts from destruction, or to recruit individuals with exceptional potential for initiation into their hidden communities. The Arab alchemist Jabir ibn Hayyan claimed to have been instructed by teachers who lived within the mountain houses of the ancients. His detailed descriptions of advanced chemical processes and equipment suggest exposure to technologies that wouldn't be rediscovered by surface civilization for centuries. Medieval European texts also contain references to pyramid inhabitants. The Crusader historian William of Tyre recorded accounts of Christian pilgrims who claimed to have encountered hermit communities living within hidden chambers beneath Middle Eastern sacred sites. These hermits were described as preserving ancient Christian teachings as well as pre-Christian wisdom traditions, suggesting a syncretic approach to knowledge preservation. Similar accounts of hidden underground civilizations appear in texts from cultures worldwide, suggesting a global pattern of knowledge preservation in concealed locations. Hindu texts describe the Nagas, serpent beings who dwell in underground cities and emerge periodically to share wisdom with surface dwellers. These descriptions often specifically mention pyramid-like structures and hidden chambers within sacred mountains. Chinese records speak of immortal sages living in hidden valleys and underground palaces, maintaining libraries of ancient knowledge and emerging to guide worthy seekers. The Tibetan tradition of hidden valleys, or Beul, describes sacred places accessible only to those with proper spiritual preparation, places where ancient wisdom is preserved by communities of advanced practitioners. Native American traditions across multiple tribes tell of star people who retreated into underground cities when the surface world became hostile to their presence. These beings are described as maintaining advanced technologies and offering guidance to tribal shamans who prove worthy of their trust. The consistency of these global accounts suggests more than mere mythological parallel development. The specific details, underground cities, preserved knowledge, selective emergence, technological advancement, form a pattern that implies actual historical phenomena rather than purely symbolic storytelling. Sumerian cuneiform tablets contain perhaps the most explicit references to hidden civilizations maintaining advanced knowledge. The Epic of Gilgamesh describes the hero's journey to meet Utnapishtim, the survivor of the Great Flood, who dwells in an underground realm described as the Mountain House of the Gods. More detailed are the Sumerian king lists, which describe periods of civilization extending back hundreds of thousands of years, with rulers possessing extraordinarily long lifespans. These texts suggest that advanced civilizations existed long before conventional historical timelines acknowledge, and that survivors of ancient catastrophes established hidden communities to preserve their knowledge. Sumerian mathematical and astronomical texts demonstrate knowledge that seems impossibly advanced for their supposed technological level. Precise calculations of planetary orbits, sophisticated understanding of precession cycles, mathematical concepts that wouldn't be rediscovered until modern times. This knowledge is often attributed to the Anunnaki, described as beings who taught humanity the arts of civilization. The Gnostic texts discovered at Nag Hammadi contain extensive references to hidden wisdom keepers and concealed communities. The Gospel of Thomas speaks of those who have found the interpretation, dwelling in places that cannot be found by those who seek power. The Gospel of Philip describes initiation processes that take place in underground chambers, guided by teachers who have achieved liberation from ordinary death and rebirth cycles. The Apocryphon of John contains detailed descriptions of hidden realms beneath the earth, populated by advanced beings who serve as guardians of divine knowledge. These beings are described as maintaining libraries, laboratories, and teaching centers in vast underground complexes accessible only through specific ritual preparations. Most intriguingly, several Gnostic texts describe ongoing contact with these hidden communities. The dialogue of the Saviour suggests that worthy individuals are still recruited by these guardians, taken to underground schools where they receive advanced teachings before returning to share appropriate knowledge with surface humanity. Analyzing these various textual traditions reveals a consistent pattern. advanced knowledge-keeping communities that chose concealment as a survival strategy. These accounts describe not primitive peoples hiding in caves, but sophisticated civilizations that deliberately withdrew from surface interaction while maintaining their technological and spiritual development. The reasons for concealment are consistently described across cultures: protection from those who would misuse advanced knowledge, preservation of wisdom during periodic catastrophes, and the need to maintain spiritual focus away from the conflicts and corruptions of surface civilizations. These texts suggest that the hidden communities weren't merely passive preservers of ancient knowledge, but active developers of advanced understanding. They describe ongoing research, technological development, and spiritual evolution taking place in concealed locations, with periodic emergence to guide surface civilization during crucial historical moments. Perhaps the most significant pattern in these ancient testimonies is the recurring theme of initiation, the process by which surface dwellers might gain access to the hidden communities and their knowledge. These descriptions are remarkably consistent across cultures and time periods. Aspirants must demonstrate spiritual preparation, intellectual capacity, and moral integrity before being considered for contact with the concealed wisdom keepers. The initiation process typically involves descending into underground chambers, facing various tests and challenges, and ultimately encountering teachers who possess extraordinary knowledge and capabilities. Those who successfully complete the process are either invited to join the hidden community or are given specific missions to accomplish in the surface world. This pattern suggests that the hidden civilizations weren't completely isolated, but maintained selective contact with surface humanity, carefully choosing individuals who could serve as bridges between the concealed and revealed worlds. The pyramid structures, with their complex interiors and mysterious chambers, would serve perfectly as initiation sites, testing grounds where the worthiness of potential initiates could be evaluated. If such communities do exist within pyramid structures, they would continue to operate according to these ancient protocols, remaining hidden while occasionally making contact with individuals who demonstrate readiness for expanded knowledge and responsibility. The limestone plateau of Giza sits atop a complex geological structure that could theoretically support extensive underground chambers and tunnels. Seismic surveys have revealed natural cave systems and underground waterways that extend far beyond the known pyramid foundations. These geological features provide the basic infrastructure that an underground civilization could expand and modify to create livable spaces. Limestone itself possesses properties that make it ideal for underground construction. It's relatively soft when freshly quarried, allowing for precise carving and shaping, but it hardens over time when exposed to air, creating durable structures. The stone's natural porosity allows for air circulation, while its density provides excellent insulation from temperature extremes and sound transmission. The bedrock beneath the Giza complex shows evidence of extensive modification chambers and passages carved with precision that matches the pyramid construction above ground. Ground-penetrating radar has detected geometric patterns in the subsurface that suggest artificial construction rather than natural cave formation. These patterns align with the pyramids above, implying a comprehensive architectural plan that encompasses both surface and underground elements. Water sources present beneath the pyramid sites could support underground communities indefinitely. These aquifers appear to be fed by deep geological sources that remain stable regardless of seasonal variations in surface water levels. The mineral content of this underground water suggests filtration through deep rock layers that would naturally purify and enhance its nutritional value. Creating a sustainable underground environment requires sophisticated understanding of air circulation, water management, waste processing, and climate control. The pyramid structures demonstrate mastery of all these elements, suggesting their builders possessed environmental engineering knowledge that could support permanent underground habitation. The pyramid's internal passages create natural ventilation systems, drawing fresh air from external openings and circulating it through the internal chamber network. The precise angles and dimensions of these passages optimize airflow while minimizing energy requirements. Temperature remains remarkably stable within pyramid interiors, rarely varying more than a few degrees despite extreme external weather conditions. Water management within the pyramid complex appears even more sophisticated. The underground chambers contain drainage systems that prevent flooding while maintaining appropriate humidity levels. Some passages seem designed to channel water flow in specific patterns that serve both practical and ritual purposes. Most remarkably, the environmental systems within the pyramids appear to be largely passive, requiring minimal external energy input while maintaining optimal conditions for human habitation. This suggests design principles that work with natural forces rather than against them, environmental engineering that achieves sustainability through understanding rather than brute force. The construction materials used in pyramid building demonstrate knowledge of properties and applications that exceed conventional understanding of ancient capabilities. Core samples from pyramid blocks reveal layered structures that suggest sophisticated material engineering rather than simple stone quarrying. Some pyramid stones contain microscopic metallic inclusions arranged in patterns that enhance the stone's electromagnetic properties. These inclusions appear to be deliberately added during construction, creating building materials with properties specifically suited to the pyramid's energy-focusing functions. The mortar used between pyramid blocks contains organic compounds that act as preservatives, preventing decay and maintaining structural integrity across millennia. Analysis of this mortar reveals knowledge of chemistry that wouldn't be rediscovered by surface civilization until modern times. Perhaps most intriguingly, some pyramid construction materials show evidence of having been created under conditions of extreme pressure and temperature that couldn't have been achieved with conventional ancient technology. This suggests access to advanced manufacturing processes that could create materials with enhanced properties specifically suited to supporting long-term underground habitation. The pyramid's electromagnetic properties could theoretically provide energy for an underground civilization. The structure acts as a massive resonating chamber, concentrating and amplifying electromagnetic fields that could be converted into usable power through appropriate technologies. The pyramid's orientation and geometric proportions align it with Earth's magnetic field in ways that maximize electromagnetic induction. During certain atmospheric conditions, the pyramid can accumulate significant electrical charges that could be stored and utilized by inhabitants with appropriate knowledge and equipment. More speculatively, the pyramid's acoustic properties could be used to generate energy through sound to electrical conversion. The precise resonant frequencies that the pyramid amplifies correspond to natural Earth rhythms and cosmic cycles, suggesting a power system that draws energy from planetary and celestial sources. If an underground civilization existed within the pyramid, they would have had thousands of years to develop and refine technologies for harnessing these energy sources. They could have created sustainable power systems that operate independently of surface resources while remaining virtually undetectable to conventional observation. Sustaining human life in underground environments requires addressing nutrition, health maintenance, and psychological well-being. The environmental conditions within pyramid structures could theoretically support all these requirements through combinations of natural processes and advanced technologies. The preserved organic materials found in pyramid excavations suggest that the internal environment actively prevents biological decay. This preservation effect could extend to food storage, allowing underground inhabitants to maintain nutritional supplies indefinitely without external resupply. The electromagnetic fields within pyramid chambers have documented effects on biological processes. Some frequencies promote cellular regeneration and healing, while others influence consciousness and mental states. An underground civilization could harness these effects to maintain health and enhance human capabilities far beyond normal parameters. Hydroponic agriculture could be sustained in underground chambers using the available water sources and artificial lighting powered by the pyramid's energy systems. The stable temperature and humidity conditions would actually provide better growing environments than surface agriculture in many respects. An isolated civilization with thousands of years of undisturbed development could achieve technological capabilities far exceeding those of surface cultures. Without the periodic catastrophes and conflicts that have repeatedly set back surface civilization, An underground community could pursue continuous advancement in science and technology. The acoustic and electromagnetic properties of the pyramid environment would provide natural laboratories for developing advanced technologies. Research into sound, light, electromagnetic fields, and consciousness could progress far beyond current surface understanding. Access to deep geological resources could provide materials and energy sources unavailable to surface civilizations. Underground communities could develop mining and manufacturing capabilities that utilize Earth's deep structure in ways that surface cultures haven't even imagined. Most significantly, a community dedicated to preserving and advancing knowledge across millennia could accumulate understanding that transcends individual lifespans. They could develop technologies for extending human life, enhancing mental capabilities, and achieving forms of consciousness that represent the next stage of human evolution. The pyramid's acoustic properties suggest sophisticated understanding of sound transmission and reception. These properties could be used for communication systems that operate through natural resonance rather than conventional radio transmission. The electromagnetic fields generated by the pyramid could be modulated to carry information, creating communication systems that use Earth's magnetic field as a medium. Such systems would be virtually undetectable by conventional surface technology while providing reliable communication over vast distances. Even more speculatively, the consciousness-altering effects documented within pyramid chambers could be harnessed for direct mind-to-mind communication. An underground civilization with thousands of years to develop such capabilities could achieve forms of telepathic communication that eliminate the need for conventional information transfer technologies. Perhaps the most compelling argument for the possibility of underground pyramid civilizations is the question of sustainability. Surface civilizations have repeatedly failed to achieve long-term survival, collapsing due to resource depletion, environmental degradation, or social conflicts. An underground civilization, properly designed from the beginning for sustainability, could theoretically maintain itself indefinitely. The pyramid environment provides natural solutions to most sustainability challenges: stable climate, renewable energy sources, isolated ecosystem, abundant water, and protection from surface catastrophes. An underground community could develop closed-loop systems for all material needs while maintaining the isolation necessary for long-term cultural stability. The evidence suggests that the pyramid builders understood these principles and designed their structures as sustainable communities rather than temporary monuments. The advanced environmental engineering, the sophisticated material science, the complex energy systems all point to construction intended for permanent occupation rather than symbolic display. If such communities did establish themselves within pyramid structures, they would have had thousands of years to perfect their sustainability systems. They could have achieved a form of civilization that represents humanity's highest potential: technologically advanced, environmentally harmonious, spiritually evolved, and culturally stable across millennia. Across human cultures and throughout recorded history, the figure of the wise guardian appears with remarkable consistency. These guardians are described as keepers of ancient knowledge, protectors of sacred wisdom, beings who have transcended ordinary human limitations to serve as bridges between the mundane and the divine. The pyramid structures themselves seem designed to embody and support this archetypal role. In ancient Egyptian tradition, the pyramid was guarded by the Sphinx, a creature combining human intelligence with animal power and divine knowledge. But beyond this obvious guardian figure, Egyptian texts describe human guardians, priests, and initiates who dedicated their lives to maintaining the sacred sites and the wisdom they contained. These guardians were said to undergo transformations that extended their lifespans and enhanced their capabilities, allowing them to serve their sacred duty across multiple generations. The Greek mysteries spoke of hierophants, enlightened teachers who guided initiates through transformative experiences in sacred underground chambers. These figures weren't merely ritual performers, but were described as individuals who had achieved direct knowledge of divine realities and could transmit that knowledge to worthy successors. Hindu traditions describe the rishis, immortal sages who retreat from ordinary society to preserve and develop spiritual wisdom. These beings are said to dwell in hidden locations, mountain caves, underground cities, invisible realms, emerging periodically to guide humanity during crucial historical moments. The consistency of this guardian archetype across cultures suggests more than mythological parallel development. It implies a historical reality, communities of individuals who chose to dedicate their lives to preserving and protecting essential knowledge, accepting isolation and concealment as the price of their service. The pyramid's geometric proportions encode information that transcends verbal or written language. The structure itself becomes a three-dimensional textbook, its measurements and relationships communicating mathematical and cosmic principles that remain accessible to anyone with the knowledge to decode them. The Great Pyramid's base perimeter equals the circumference of a circle, whose radius equals the pyramid's height, a relationship that encodes the mathematical constant pi. The pyramid's height relates to its base dimensions through the golden ratio phi, a proportion that appears throughout natural growth patterns and artistic compositions that humans find deeply harmonious. But these mathematical relationships extend beyond simple geometric constants. The pyramid's dimensions encode astronomical information: the length of Earth's year, the planet's diameter and circumference, the distance to the sun, even the speed of light. This suggests that the builders understood the pyramid as a scale model of cosmic relationships, a repository of knowledge about humanity's place within the larger universe. For an underground civilization, such geometric encoding would serve multiple purposes. It would preserve essential knowledge in permanent form, immune to the decay that destroys written records. It would provide a teaching tool that could transmit complex concepts to initiates with appropriate preparation. Most importantly, it would serve as a marker of identity, a way for the hidden community to recognize others who shared their knowledge and dedication. Cultures worldwide share myths of heroic descent into underground realms, journeys that result in the acquisition of wisdom or treasure that benefits the surface world. From Orpheus's journey to the underworld to retrieve Eurydice, to Inanna's descent to the realm of her dark sister Ereshkigal, to the countless shamanic traditions of journeying to lower worlds for healing and knowledge, humanity seems obsessed with the concept of wisdom gained through downward movement. These descent narratives follow remarkably consistent patterns. The hero must overcome guardians and pass tests, must face fears and limitations, must demonstrate worthiness, before being granted access to hidden wisdom. The journey is always transformative. The hero who returns to the surface world is fundamentally changed by the encounter with underground realities. In the context of pyramid chambers, these mythological patterns take on concrete significance. The narrow passages descending into the pyramid's interior recreate the descent journey described in global mythology. The chambers themselves become testing grounds where initiates must prove their readiness for expanded knowledge and responsibility. If hidden civilizations exist within pyramid structures, they would naturally utilize these mythological patterns as selection mechanisms. The descent mythology becomes a screening process, attracting those who understand the symbolic language while discouraging those who seek only material gain or superficial knowledge. The pyramid's interior creates a unique environment of controlled light and deep shadow. The narrow passages admit limited light from external sources, creating conditions where artificial illumination becomes necessary for navigation. This interplay of light and darkness forms the perfect symbolic environment for communities dedicated to preserving illumination in the midst of humanity's darker ages. Ancient mystery schools universally employed light and darkness as teaching tools. Students underwent periods in complete darkness to develop inner sight, then experienced dramatic illumination that represented the dawning of spiritual understanding. The pyramid's chambers naturally create these conditions, suggesting their design as educational environments rather than simple burial spaces. The light that does enter the pyramid follows precise astronomical alignments, marking significant celestial events and seasonal transitions. These light phenomena could serve as natural calendars for underground inhabitants, maintaining their connection to cosmic cycles without requiring surface observation. For a hidden civilization, the symbolism would be particularly meaningful. They would see themselves as keepers of light during humanity's dark ages, preservers of illumination that they could gradually share with surface dwellers as they developed readiness for greater knowledge. Pyramid chambers are environments of threshold spaces between surface and depth, between known and unknown, between ordinary consciousness and expanded awareness. This threshold quality appears in the architectural features: low passages that require crawling or stooping, chambers that force specific body positions, acoustic properties that alter perception and awareness. Anthropologically, threshold spaces serve crucial functions in human development and social organization. They provide environments where individuals can safely undergo transformation, where old identities can be released and new ones adopted. Traditional cultures worldwide utilize threshold spaces for initiation rituals, healing ceremonies, and spiritual development. The pyramid's threshold environments would be ideal for the processes necessary to join or interact with a hidden civilization. The threshold concept also explains the selective nature of contact with hidden civilizations described in various historical accounts. These communities wouldn't exist in complete isolation, but would maintain threshold spaces where interaction with surface dwellers could occur under controlled conditions. The pyramid itself represents transformation. The square base representing earthly existence rising through triangular faces to reach a unified point representing transcendence. This symbolic progression from multiplicity to unity, from material to spiritual, from earthly to celestial, provides a perfect metaphor for the transformation that would be necessary to join an advanced underground civilization. Ancient Egyptian funeral texts describe the pyramid as a transformation machine, a device for changing consciousness and enabling the deceased to achieve divine status. But what if these texts describe actual rather than metaphorical processes? What if the pyramid was designed as a technology for transforming human consciousness and capability? The electromagnetic and acoustic properties of pyramid chambers do indeed alter human consciousness. Extended exposure to these environments produces measurable changes in brain function, perception, and awareness. These effects could be harnessed by knowledge keepers to facilitate the transformation of individuals ready to join their community. Cultures worldwide associate underground realms with serpent symbolism. The snake represents wisdom that comes from below, knowledge that must be earned through courage and determination, power that can heal or destroy depending on the user's intentions. In the context of pyramid civilizations, serpent symbolism takes on specific meaning. The serpent's ability to shed its skin becomes a metaphor for the transformation required to join an underground community. The snake's association with hidden places and secret knowledge reflects the concealed nature of advanced wisdom. The serpent's connection to healing and poison represents the dual nature of advanced knowledge, beneficial when used wisely, dangerous when misapplied. Egyptian mythology specifically associates the serpent with pyramid wisdom. The Uriah serpent appears on pharaonic crowns as a symbol of divine knowledge and protection. The pyramid text describes serpent beings as guardians of wisdom and guides for those undertaking transformation. The cyclical nature of cosmic processes appears throughout pyramid symbolism and architecture. The structure's astronomical alignments track celestial cycles that repeat across vast timescales. The preservation effects within pyramid chambers suggest victory over linear time and decay. The mathematical relationships encoded in pyramid geometry reflect universal constants that remain stable across cosmic evolution. For an underground civilization, this eternal return symbolism would be particularly meaningful. They would see themselves as participants in cosmic cycles that transcend individual human lifespans and surface historical periods. Their mission would be not just to preserve knowledge, but to maintain humanity's connection to eternal principles that persist through all temporal changes. The recurring pattern of underground wisdom keeper stories across cultures and historical periods could reflect this eternal return principle in action. The hidden civilization doesn't just preserve ancient knowledge but regenerates it in forms appropriate to each historical era. maintaining the essential wisdom while adapting its expression to contemporary understanding. Pyramid symbolism consistently involves the integration of apparent opposites, earth and sky, matter and spirit, temporal and eternal, hidden and revealed. This integration principle would be essential for an underground civilization that seeks to bridge surface and depth realities. The pyramid structure itself embodies this integration, its base firmly planted in earth while its apex reaches toward heaven. The interior chambers create environments where surface dwellers can safely encounter depth realities without being overwhelmed by the transition. An advanced underground civilization would necessarily develop sophisticated understanding of how to integrate opposite principles. They would need to balance isolation with connection, secrecy with teaching, preservation with development. The cultural patterns and symbols associated with pyramids suggest frameworks for achieving these integrations successfully. In recent decades, accounts of unusual encounters near pyramid sites have increased dramatically. These testimonies come from credible sources: archaeologists, engineers, security personnel, and tourists, who describe experiences that don't fit conventional explanations of pyramid sites as simple archaeological monuments. Dr. James Hurtak, a researcher and author, has documented numerous accounts of individuals who report contact with underground teachers near pyramid sites. These encounters typically occur during deep meditation or spiritual practices conducted within or near pyramid chambers. The contactees describe beings of obviously human origin who demonstrate advanced knowledge and capabilities, offering teachings that seem far ahead of current surface understanding. Egyptian security guards working night shifts at pyramid sites frequently report unexplained phenomena: lights moving within supposedly sealed chambers, sounds of activity coming from areas that should be empty, encounters with individuals dressed in ancient garments who disappear when approached. While such accounts are often dismissed as folklore or imagination, their consistency and the credibility of some witnesses suggest phenomena worthy of serious investigation. Engineers and technicians working with scanning equipment at pyramid sites report encounters that seem designed to limit their investigations. Equipment malfunctions, access restrictions imposed without official explanation, and sometimes direct confrontation with individuals who seem to possess detailed knowledge of the research being conducted. Perhaps most intriguingly, several major pyramid discoveries of recent decades seem to have been guided or facilitated by unknown sources. Researchers report receiving information through dreams, meditation, or direct encounters that leads them to specific locations where significant discoveries are subsequently made. The discovery of the void above the Grand Gallery in the Great Pyramid was preceded by several researchers reporting dreams or meditative visions of hidden chambers in that exact location. While this could be dismissed as coincidence, the pattern repeats across multiple discoveries and multiple researchers. Some archaeologists working at pyramid sites describe a phenomenon they privately call guided research, the experience of being led to specific areas of investigation by intuitions or insights that seem to come from external sources. These experiences often result in discoveries that advance understanding of pyramid construction and purpose. The consistency of this guided discovery pattern suggests the possibility of deliberate information sharing by knowledgeable sources who prefer to remain hidden, while gradually revealing pyramid secrets to surface researchers who demonstrate appropriate preparation and intention. Official government responses to pyramid research often seem disproportionate to the supposed archaeological importance of the discoveries. Research projects are frequently subject to sudden restrictions, funding limitations, or outright cancellation without clear explanation. The Scan Pyramids project, despite its groundbreaking discoveries, has faced ongoing restrictions on follow-up research. Attempts to explore the newly discovered voids through robotic or direct investigation have been repeatedly postponed or denied permission. Official explanations cite concerns about structural damage, but the restrictions seem more comprehensive than structural preservation would require. Intelligence agencies from multiple nations maintain ongoing surveillance of pyramid sites that exceeds normal security for archaeological monuments. This surveillance includes sophisticated monitoring equipment that suggests concerns far beyond tourist safety or artifact protection. Some researchers report being approached by government representatives who seem to possess detailed knowledge of their work and specific interest in any unusual discoveries or encounters. These approaches often include offers of funding or resources in exchange for exclusive access to research results. Advanced technology companies have shown unexpected interest in pyramid research, particularly in the electromagnetic and acoustic properties of these structures. Several corporations have funded research projects that seem more focused on understanding pyramid technologies than on archaeological discovery. Some of this corporate interest appears directed toward reverse engineering pyramid design principles for modern applications. Research into pyramid electromagnetic properties has led to developments in energy storage, acoustic engineering, and consciousness-altering technologies that suggest practical applications of ancient knowledge. Patent applications filed by technology companies sometimes contain design principles that seem directly derived from pyramid research, implying successful translation of ancient technologies into modern applications. The speed of this technology transfer suggests access to information beyond what conventional archaeological research should provide. A consistent pattern emerges from accounts of contact with pyramid inhabitants. These beings appear thoroughly human, but demonstrate capabilities that exceed normal human parameters. They possess extensive knowledge of history, science, and consciousness studies. They communicate in multiple languages with perfect fluency. They demonstrate technologies that seem advanced beyond current surface capabilities. Most significantly, these contacts seem purposeful rather than accidental. The beings appear to carefully select individuals for contact based on specific criteria: spiritual preparation, intellectual capacity, moral integrity, and dedication to service rather than personal gain. The contacts typically involve transmission of information or knowledge that advances the contactee's understanding or capabilities. However, the information is usually provided in ways that require integration and development rather than passive reception. The contacts seem designed to catalyze development rather than simply provide answers. Many contactees report being given specific missions or tasks that serve to gradually introduce advanced knowledge to surface civilization. These missions often involve research, writing, or teaching activities that spread awareness of ancient wisdom traditions and consciousness development techniques. Beyond testimonial accounts, physical evidence suggests ongoing activity within pyramid structures that conventional archaeology can't explain. Thermal scans show temperature variations that suggest movement within supposedly sealed areas. Electromagnetic monitoring detects patterns of activity that correlate with times when encounters are most frequently reported. Acoustic monitoring has recorded sounds from within pyramid chambers that seem to indicate machinery or technological operations. These sounds occur in patterns that suggest intelligence and purpose, rather than random environmental factors. Air quality measurements within pyramid chambers sometimes show compositions that indicate active air processing systems. Oxygen levels remain stable despite limited external ventilation, and trace gases appear that suggest advanced atmospheric management technologies. Most remarkably, some areas within pyramid structures show evidence of recent cleaning and maintenance that couldn't have been performed by official archaeological teams. Passages that should show accumulated dust and debris appear recently cleared. Chamber walls sometimes show signs of recent repairs or modifications. Several researchers have documented what appear to be deliberate communication attempts by pyramid inhabitants. These communications take various forms: light patterns that seem to respond to human presence, acoustic phenomena that appear designed to convey information, and electromagnetic signals that correlate with human activities. The light phenomena include patterns of illumination within pyramid chambers that occur in response to specific human activities or at times when researchers are present. These light patterns sometimes follow geometric forms that correspond to mathematical relationships or symbolic meanings. Acoustic phenomena include sounds that seem designed to guide human movement through pyramid passages, tonal patterns that induce specific consciousness states, and sometimes what appears to be spoken language in unknown but somehow comprehensible forms. Electromagnetic communications include signals that seem to respond to electronic equipment brought into pyramid chambers, patterns of electromagnetic activity that correlate with human brainwave states, and fields that appear designed to enhance human consciousness or awareness. Perhaps most significantly, several individuals report being recruited by pyramid inhabitants for specific purposes. These recruitments follow consistent patterns: initial contact through dreams or meditation, followed by direct encounters at pyramid sites, then periods of instruction or preparation, and finally assignment of specific missions or tasks. The recruitment process appears highly selective, focusing on individuals who demonstrate specific combinations of knowledge, capability, and dedication. The recruited individuals often possess backgrounds in relevant fields: archaeology, physics, consciousness research, or spiritual development. But the selection criteria seem to emphasize character and intention as much as technical knowledge. Recruited individuals report undergoing instruction in underground facilities that demonstrate technologies and knowledge far exceeding current surface capabilities. This instruction often includes historical information about human civilization's true development, scientific knowledge about consciousness and reality, and practical training in advanced technologies. Most recruited individuals are subsequently returned to surface life with specific missions to accomplish. These missions typically involve gradually introducing advanced knowledge to surface civilization, identifying and preparing other potential recruits, or maintaining communication links between surface and underground communities. Analyzing the pattern of modern encounters and discoveries suggests a deliberate strategy of gradual revelation by pyramid inhabitants. Rather than sudden disclosure of their existence and knowledge, they appear to be slowly increasing contact and information sharing as surface civilization develops readiness for expanded understanding. This gradual approach serves multiple purposes. It avoids the disruption and chaos that might result from sudden revelation of advanced underground civilizations. It allows time for surface humanity to develop the wisdom necessary to use advanced knowledge responsibly, and it provides opportunities to evaluate surface readiness for broader contact. The increasing frequency of encounters, the growing body of physical evidence, and the advancing technological discoveries all suggest that this gradual revelation process may be approaching a crucial phase. The question becomes not whether contact will be made, but when surface civilization will be deemed ready for open acknowledgement of the advanced communities that may have been sharing our planet all along. Why would an advanced civilization choose to hide from the rest of humanity? This question lies at the heart of the hidden pyramid civilization hypothesis, and its answer reveals profound insights about the nature of wisdom, power, and human development. The choice to remain concealed isn't born from fear or antisocial tendencies, but from a deep understanding of how knowledge and power interact with human nature and social evolution. Advanced civilizations throughout history have faced a crucial dilemma: how to preserve and develop essential knowledge while preventing its misuse by those who lack the wisdom to apply it responsibly. The atomic age provides a stark modern example. Scientific knowledge that could solve humanity's energy needs instead created weapons of unprecedented destruction because the technical knowledge advanced faster than human wisdom. A civilization that has achieved genuine advancement, not just in technology but in consciousness, ethics, and social organization would understand this dilemma intimately. They would recognize that premature exposure of advanced knowledge to less developed civilizations often results in catastrophe rather than progress. The wise response isn't to halt development but to proceed carefully, revealing knowledge only to those who demonstrate readiness to use it constructively. Concealment becomes not an act of selfishness, but of compassion, protecting less developed civilizations from knowledge that could destroy them, while preserving that knowledge for times when humanity demonstrates greater wisdom. The hidden civilization serves as a kind of evolutionary buffer, maintaining advanced understanding through humanity's darker ages, while gradually introducing appropriate knowledge as surface civilization develops greater maturity. Hidden civilizations would naturally evolve according to what might be called the guardian principle, the recognition that advanced knowledge carries with it the responsibility to protect and guide less advanced beings. This principle appears throughout human mythology and spiritual traditions as the concept of enlightened beings who dedicate their existence to serving humanity's highest development. The guardian principle requires profound personal transformation. Those who accept guardian responsibility must transcend ordinary human motivations of personal gain, recognition, or power. They must develop the wisdom to distinguish between what people want and what they need, the patience to work across generational timescales, and the strength to accept isolation and misunderstanding as the price of their service. Within pyramid structures, this guardian principle would manifest as communities of individuals who have chosen to dedicate their lives to preserving and developing human knowledge and potential. They would maintain advanced technologies, preserve historical records, conduct research into consciousness and reality, and occasionally emerge to guide surface civilization through crucial developmental phases. The longevity suggested by various accounts of hidden civilizations would be essential to this guardian function. True guardianship requires perspectives that transcend individual human lifespans, the ability to work with centuries or millennia rather than mere decades. Whether through advanced medical technologies, spiritual practices that extend life, or systems that preserve knowledge across multiple generations, guardian communities would need to maintain continuity across vast timescales. From the perspective of a hidden civilization, human consciousness development would be understood as an ecological process requiring careful management and protection. Just as biological ecosystems need diversity, balance, and protection from destructive influences, the ecosystem of human consciousness requires advanced civilizations to serve as seed banks of knowledge and wisdom. This consciousness ecology perspective explains why hidden civilizations might intervene periodically in surface history, not to control or manipulate human development, but to maintain the healthy diversity and potential that ensures long-term human evolution. They would serve as genetic reservoirs, but for consciousness rather than biology. The pyramid structures themselves would function as specialized environments within this consciousness ecology, spaces designed to nurture advanced states of awareness and development. The electromagnetic and acoustic properties of these chambers would serve as technological tools for consciousness cultivation, environments where human potential could be explored and developed far beyond surface capabilities. Hidden civilizations would understand that consciousness evolution requires not just knowledge transmission but environmental support. The pyramid chambers would provide these environment spaces where consciousness can safely explore expanded states, where individuals can undergo transformation processes, where advanced beings can interact with developing humans without overwhelming them. A truly advanced civilization would understand human development within vast evolutionary timescales. They would recognize current surface civilization as a relatively early phase in human potential, a developmental stage that will eventually give way to more advanced forms of consciousness and social organization. From this evolutionary perspective, the temporary dominance of materialistic, competitive civilizations on Earth's surface would be seen as a necessary but passing phase. Surface humanity needs to explore the full implications of physical technology and individual consciousness before being ready to develop the collaborative, spiritually oriented civilizations that represent the next evolutionary stage. Hidden civilizations would position themselves as bridges between current human development and future potential. They would maintain advanced examples of what humanity could become while allowing surface civilization the time and experience needed to develop readiness for evolutionary advancement. This perspective requires extraordinary patience and faith in humanity's ultimate potential. Hidden civilizations would need to maintain hope and dedication across millennia, during which surface humanity demonstrates repeated failures in wisdom, compassion, and responsible development. They would need to see beyond current limitations to the eventual fulfillment of human evolutionary potential. Perhaps the most significant philosophical insight that hidden civilizations would possess is understanding consciousness as a technology, not in the mechanical sense, but as a sophisticated system that can be developed, refined, and applied to achieve specific outcomes. This understanding would represent the next stage beyond current scientific materialism. While surface science has achieved remarkable progress in manipulating matter and energy, consciousness remains largely unexplored territory. Hidden civilizations would have had millennia to develop technologies of consciousness methods for enhancing awareness, expanding perception, facilitating communication beyond ordinary sensory channels, and even extending individual consciousness beyond normal biological limitations. The pyramid chambers would serve as laboratories for consciousness technology, environments where the effects of acoustic resonance, electromagnetic fields, geometric proportions, and other factors on human awareness could be studied and refined. The advanced capabilities attributed to pyramid inhabitants, extended lifespans, enhanced mental abilities, expanded awareness, would result from sophisticated understanding and application of consciousness technologies. This technological approach to consciousness would enable hidden civilizations to achieve capabilities that seem miraculous from surface perspectives, but represent simply more advanced understanding of natural principles. They would demonstrate that consciousness isn't merely a byproduct of brain function, but a fundamental aspect of reality that can be developed and applied through appropriate knowledge and practices. Hidden civilizations would face complex ethical questions about when and how to intervene in surface human affairs. The principle of non-interference would need to be balanced against the responsibility to prevent catastrophic outcomes and guide crucial evolutionary developments. These ethical considerations would require sophisticated understanding of karma, free will, and evolutionary necessity. Hidden civilizations would need to distinguish between challenges that surface humanity needs to overcome independently for proper development and crises that threaten human survival or evolutionary potential. The gradual revelation strategy evident in modern encounters suggests a refined ethical approach. Rather than imposing solutions or knowledge, hidden civilizations would create opportunities for surface humanity to discover advanced understanding through its own efforts. They would serve as invisible teachers, arranging circumstances that facilitate learning while maintaining human agency and responsibility. This ethical framework would explain why hidden civilizations haven't simply revealed themselves and provided solutions to surface problems. Direct intervention might solve immediate crises, but could undermine the developmental processes that humanity needs to undergo to achieve genuine advancement. The ultimate purpose of hidden civilizations would be to serve human evolutionary potential, not just for current surface humanity, but for the cosmic consciousness that represents humanity's eventual destiny. They would understand themselves as temporary custodians of knowledge and capabilities that belong ultimately to all humanity. This custodial function requires extraordinary dedication and sacrifice. Hidden civilizations would accept isolation, misunderstanding, and even demonization by surface humanity as the price of serving humanity's highest potential. They would work not for recognition or gratitude, but from dedication to principles that transcend individual or cultural interests. The pyramid structures would serve as monuments to this ultimate purpose, permanent reminders that human potential extends far beyond current achievements, repositories of knowledge and technology that wait for humanity's readiness, beacons that call surface consciousness toward its evolutionary destiny. From this philosophical perspective, the question isn't whether hidden civilizations exist within pyramid structures, but whether humanity is developing the wisdom and maturity necessary to deserve open contact with such communities. The hidden civilizations would be waiting not for discovery by surface technology, but for demonstration of readiness by surface consciousness, the development of wisdom, compassion, and dedication that would qualify surface humanity for membership in the community of truly advanced civilizations. If advanced civilizations have existed within pyramid structures for millennia, our understanding of human history requires fundamental revision. the conventional narrative of linear progression from primitive societies to modern technological civilization becomes merely the surface story, beneath which runs a parallel narrative of continuous advanced development. This hidden history would explain many anomalies that current historical models struggle to address. The sudden appearance of sophisticated knowledge in ancient civilizations, the consistent global patterns of pyramid construction, the advanced astronomical and mathematical understanding evident in ancient monuments, and the persistent traditions of lost golden ages and hidden wisdom keepers. The implications extend beyond simple historical revision to fundamental questions about human nature and potential. If some humans have achieved and maintained advanced capabilities across millennia, it suggests that current surface humanity represents not the pinnacle of human development but an early stage in a much longer evolutionary process. This perspective would transform how we view current human limitations and challenges. Problems that seem insurmountable from surface perspectives, environmental degradation, social conflict, resource scarcity, consciousness limitations, might represent temporary developmental phases rather than permanent human conditions. Hidden pyramid civilizations would possess historical records extending far beyond conventional archaeological timelines. Their testimonies could resolve fundamental questions about human origins, development, and potential that current science can only speculate about. These records might reveal that human civilization is far older than currently believed, that advanced cultures rose and fell multiple times throughout human history, and that the knowledge preserved by hidden civilizations represents the accumulated wisdom of countless previous civilizations rather than the achievements of isolated ancient cultures. More provocatively, hidden civilizations might possess knowledge about human origins that challenges current evolutionary theory. They might understand humanity's relationship to cosmic evolution, the role of consciousness in human development, and the ultimate destiny toward which human evolution is directed. Such knowledge would require careful introduction to surface civilization, as it would challenge fundamental assumptions about human nature, purpose, and relationship to the universe. Hidden civilizations would need to assess surface humanity's readiness for such revelations and introduce them gradually to prevent cultural shock or misinterpretation. Perhaps the most significant implication of hidden pyramid civilizations would be their advanced understanding of consciousness and its relationship to reality. Their extended research into consciousness technologies would have yielded insights that could revolutionize human understanding of the nature of existence itself. These insights might reveal that consciousness is not merely an emergent property of complex brain activity, but a fundamental aspect of reality that can be developed, expanded, and applied in ways that current science can barely imagine. The capabilities attributed to pyramid inhabitants' extended lifespans, enhanced mental abilities, expanded awareness, might represent natural human potentials that can be actualized through appropriate understanding and practice. Such understanding would transform human relationship to death, suffering, limitation, and separation. If consciousness transcends ordinary biological boundaries, if individual awareness can be expanded to encompass larger realities, if human potential extends far beyond current achievements, then humanity's entire approach to existence would require fundamental re-examination. Hidden civilizations would have resolved the apparent conflict between technological development and spiritual advancement that currently challenges surface civilization. Their existence demonstrates that advanced technology and expanded consciousness can develop together in mutually supportive ways rather than as competing alternatives. This integration would provide models for surface civilization's future development. Rather than choosing between material advancement and spiritual evolution, humanity could learn to develop technologies that enhance consciousness and spiritual practices that improve technological applications. The pyramid chambers would serve as examples of integrated technology spirituality, environments where advanced engineering serves consciousness development and expanded awareness enables more sophisticated technological applications. This integration would suggest possibilities for future human civilization that transcend current limitations and conflicts. Hidden pyramid civilizations would have achieved sustainable environmental relationships that could serve as models for surface humanity's current ecological challenges. Their closed-loop systems, renewable energy sources, and harmonious relationship with natural cycles would demonstrate practical solutions to environmental problems. More significantly, their extended successful existence would prove that human civilization can achieve genuine sustainability rather than temporary exploitation of environmental resources. Their example would provide hope and direction for surface humanity's efforts to develop sustainable practices. Their understanding of consciousness-environment relationships might reveal that ecological harmony requires not just technological solutions, but expanded awareness that recognizes the interconnectedness of all life. Environmental problems might be fundamentally consciousness problems that require internal as well as external solutions. The social organization of hidden civilizations would provide examples of human communities that have achieved stability, harmony, and continuous development across millennia. Their governance systems, economic relationships, and cultural practices would offer alternatives to the competitive, conflicted social models that dominate surface civilization. These alternative social models would demonstrate that human beings can organize themselves according to principles of cooperation, mutual support, and collective wisdom rather than competition, exploitation, and individual advantage. Their existence would prove that utopian social visions are achievable rather than merely idealistic fantasies. Their methods for maintaining social harmony while preserving individual freedom, for achieving economic sufficiency without exploitation, and for governing according to wisdom rather than power, would provide practical guidance for surface civilization's social evolution. Perhaps the most personally relevant implication of hidden pyramid civilizations is what they reveal about individual human potential. If some humans have achieved extended lifespans, enhanced capabilities, and expanded consciousness, these achievements represent possibilities available to all humanity rather than unique gifts of special individuals. The initiation processes described in various traditions might represent practical methodologies for actualizing human potential rather than merely symbolic rituals. The transformation experiences reported by those who encounter pyramid inhabitants might provide glimpses of what all humans could achieve through appropriate preparation and dedication. This perspective would transform individual relationships to personal development, spiritual growth, and life purpose. Rather than accepting current limitations as permanent conditions, individuals could approach their development as participation in humanity's evolutionary advancement toward capabilities that currently seem impossible. Hidden civilizations would possess cosmic perspective that places human development within universal evolutionary processes. Their understanding of humanity's relationship to other life forms, other civilizations, and cosmic evolution would provide context for current human struggles and achievements. This cosmic perspective might reveal that Earth serves as a school or testing ground for consciousness development, that human challenges are designed to facilitate growth toward cosmic awareness, and that current surface civilization represents one phase in a much larger evolutionary process. Such understanding would transform human relationship to suffering, failure, and limitation, from meaningless obstacles to necessary developmental experiences. It would provide hope that current human problems serve larger purposes and will eventually give way to more advanced phases of human existence. Ultimately, the existence of hidden pyramid civilizations raises the crucial question of surface humanity's readiness for contact with advanced communities. This readiness involves not just technological capability to detect hidden civilizations, but wisdom to interact with them constructively. The gradual revelation strategy evident in modern encounters suggests that hidden civilizations are evaluating surface humanity's development toward readiness for open contact. This evaluation would assess not just individual readiness, but collective human development toward the wisdom, compassion, and maturity necessary for membership in advanced cosmic communities. The question becomes not just whether hidden civilizations exist, but what surface humanity must develop to deserve acknowledgement and inclusion in the community of advanced civilizations that may surround us. The answer to this question would guide human development toward its ultimate evolutionary potential, the transformation from a primitive surface civilization struggling with basic survival challenges to an advanced cosmic civilization capable of contributing to universal evolution. Despite millennia of human curiosity and decades of modern investigation, the pyramids continue to guard their deepest secrets. Each technological advance, each new discovery, each breakthrough in understanding seems to reveal not answers but deeper levels of mystery. The question of hidden civilizations within these ancient structures remains tantalizingly unanswered, suspended between possibility and proof, between hope and skepticism. What would constitute definitive evidence of pyramid inhabitants? Direct contact seems unlikely to satisfy skeptics who could attribute such encounters to hallucination, deception, or misinterpretation. Photographic or video evidence could be dismissed as fabrication in our age of sophisticated digital manipulation. Even physical artifacts could be explained as hoaxes or misidentified conventional objects. Perhaps the nature of the mystery itself prevents conventional proof. If hidden civilizations exist within pyramids, they have successfully maintained their concealment for thousands of years. They would possess sophisticated understanding of how to remain hidden, while allowing just enough evidence to surface to intrigue and inspire those ready to receive their influence. The mystery may be designed to be perpetual not because the answer doesn't exist, but because the process of seeking the answer is itself transformative. The journey toward understanding hidden pyramid civilizations changes those who undertake it, developing the consciousness, dedication, and wisdom that might be prerequisites for actual contact with such communities. Modern pyramid research continues to evolve, driven by advancing technology and persistent human curiosity. Satellite imagery reveals previously unknown pyramid sites around the world. Ground-penetrating radar maps increasingly detailed interior structures. Particle physics provides non-invasive methods for detecting hidden chambers and passages. Yet each technological advance seems to deepen rather than resolve the mystery. New chambers are discovered, but they remain inaccessible. Strange energy patterns are detected, but they defy conventional explanation. Acoustic and electromagnetic anomalies are documented, but their purposes remain unclear. The investigation itself has become a kind of initiation process, challenging researchers to develop not just technical skills but wisdom, patience, and dedication. Those who approach the pyramids seeking simple answers often find themselves drawn into lifelong quests that transform their understanding of reality, consciousness, and human potential. Perhaps this transformative effect is intentional. If hidden civilizations do exist within the pyramids, they might use the investigation process itself as a method for identifying and preparing individuals ready for expanded knowledge and contact. Interest in hidden civilizations and ancient wisdom has grown exponentially in recent decades. Books, documentaries, websites, and conferences explore these topics with unprecedented sophistication and reach. The Internet enables global collaboration among researchers, sharing of evidence and theories, and coordination of investigation efforts. This growing interest might reflect surface humanity's increasing readiness for contact with advanced civilizations. As conventional institutions fail to address humanity's deepest challenges, more people turn to alternative sources of wisdom and guidance. The search for hidden civilizations becomes part of a larger search for solutions to problems that seem beyond current human capabilities. The timing of this awakening is significant. Humanity faces unprecedented challenges: environmental crisis, resource depletion, social fragmentation, existential confusion that require capabilities beyond those currently available to surface civilization. The emergence of widespread interest in hidden advanced civilizations might reflect intuitive recognition that help is needed from sources more developed than current human institutions. For many individuals, investigation of hidden pyramid civilizations becomes a journey of personal transformation that extends far beyond academic curiosity or archaeological interest. The process of seriously considering such possibilities expands consciousness, challenges limiting beliefs, and opens awareness to potentials that seemed impossible from conventional perspectives. This transformation often involves developing new relationships to mystery, uncertainty, and the unknown. Rather than demanding immediate answers or dismissing what can't be proven, individuals learn to live comfortably with questions while remaining open to evidence and experience that might provide insights. The pyramid mystery teaches patience, humility, and discernment. It reveals how little we actually know about reality, while inspiring dedication to expand that knowledge. It demonstrates that the most important questions might not yield to conventional investigation methods but require development of consciousness and wisdom. Perhaps most significantly, exploration of hidden pyramid civilizations transforms relationship to human potential. If some humans have achieved advanced capabilities and maintained them across millennia, these achievements represent possibilities available to all humanity rather than unique gifts of special individuals. The pyramid mystery extends an invitation, not just to solve an ancient puzzle, but to participate in human evolution toward expanded capabilities and understanding. This invitation operates on multiple levels: intellectual challenge to expand knowledge, spiritual calling to develop wisdom, and practical opportunity to contribute to humanity's advancement. The invitation is open to everyone but requires specific responses. It demands honest evaluation of current beliefs and assumptions. It requires willingness to consider possibilities that challenge conventional worldviews. It calls for development of discernment that can distinguish between wishful thinking and genuine insight. Most importantly, the invitation requires commitment to service rather than personal gain. Hidden civilizations, if they exist, would be interested not in casual tourists or sensation seekers, but in individuals dedicated to serving humanity's highest development. The pyramid mystery serves as a screening process, attracting those with appropriate motivations while discouraging those seeking entertainment or material advantage. Those who seriously engage with the pyramid mystery often find themselves serving as bridges between conventional and expanded realities. They develop abilities to communicate with both skeptical mainstream audiences and communities exploring expanded possibilities. They become translators, helping to introduce advanced concepts in ways that don't overwhelm or alienate those unprepared for such ideas. This bridge function might be precisely what hidden civilizations seek to develop through their gradual revelation strategy. Rather than direct contact that could cause cultural shock or resistance, they might prefer to work through human intermediaries who can introduce advanced knowledge and possibilities in culturally appropriate ways. The pyramid mystery creates a community of bridge builders individuals who have been transformed by their exploration of hidden possibilities and who carry that transformation into their interactions with conventional society. These bridge builders serve as seeds for broader cultural transformation, gradually preparing collective consciousness for more direct contact with advanced civilizations. Ultimately, the search for hidden pyramid civilizations represents humanity's eternal quest for meaning, purpose, and connection with something greater than current limitations. This quest has driven human development throughout history, inspiring art, science, philosophy, and spirituality. It reflects deep recognition that current reality doesn't exhaust human potential. The pyramid mystery embodies this eternal quest in concrete form. The massive structures stand as permanent reminders that human achievement can transcend ordinary limitations. Their mysterious properties suggest capabilities and knowledge beyond current understanding. Their global presence implies that the quest for transcendence is universal rather than culturally specific. Whether or not hidden civilizations exist within pyramid structures, the search for them serves essential functions in human development. It expands imagination beyond current limitations. It inspires dedication to service and wisdom rather than material acquisition. It develops patience, discernment, and faith in human potential. The question of hidden pyramid civilizations remains beautifully, mysteriously open. Like all the most important questions facing humanity, it cannot be answered through conventional investigation alone, but requires development of consciousness, wisdom, and readiness that transform those who seriously engage with it. Perhaps this is exactly as it should be. Perhaps the greatest mysteries remain mysterious not because they lack answers, but because they serve functions that solutions would eliminate. Perhaps the search itself is more valuable than the finding, the journey more important than the destination. The pyramids continue to stand, patient and eternal, holding their secrets while inviting humanity toward greater understanding. They wait for us to develop the wisdom worthy of their knowledge, the consciousness capable of their insights, the dedication deserving of their trust. Whether their chambers hide advanced civilizations or remain eternally empty, they succeed in their most important function. They call us toward our highest potential, challenge us to transcend our limitations, and remind us that human possibilities extend far beyond what we have yet achieved. In the end, the pyramid mystery asks not just whether hidden civilizations exist within ancient stones, but whether we are developing the civilization within ourselves worthy of their acknowledgement. The answer to that question determines not just what we might discover about the pyramids, but what we might become as human beings reaching toward our ultimate destiny among the stars.